Well, Boris, that's Jack. What did you think? I read that only 1 in 50 soldiers can kill with zero hesitation. Guess I'm a 2%er, huh? I know what they went through, yeah. But I sure as hell didn't let it stop me.
No, I guess not.
Regular guys, they couldn't handle it. All the blood and body parts, the fear and dying eyes. Me, though, I like it. A lot. No hesitation, no regrets. Maybe it's in my blood. Maybe it's the Sears program. Probably both. The younger you learn a thing, the better you retain it, you know? I remember Liberia like it was yesterday. All the abuse, the threats at gunpoint. Next thing I know, I'm getting off on cutting guys to shreds.
Raiden.
But afterwards it was tough. Especially once I got to the US. I got counseling and education. But every time I talked with someone normal, I felt like all the killing I'd done was gonna crush me. And it didn't stop. Not in my dreams, anyway. I'd hear voices at night, calling out all my crimes, but I couldn't shut them out. The rest of my crew adapted to American life well enough, but I never could.
And it returns only now. I've always known you have a dark part in your mind. Perhaps I should not have hired you at all. Perhaps you should not be near battlefield.
The hell with that. If I hadn't signed up, I wouldn't be here to help put an end to this. I gotta do what I can to stop that VR training. I'm not the only one suffering. I need to do this for my old friends. The boys back in Liberia who didn't survive. I survived all the killing, thrived on it, but the experience destroyed them.
Duh.
Sorry. I better get moving. What do you think about what Monsoon said earlier about memes? You think we're all doomed to follow some coded-in routine? That there's no free will?
Well, you're always going to have restraints based on what culture you're born into. The concept of memes was first proposed by Richard Dawkins in a book called The Selfish Gene. Dawkins, a biologist, stated that even if the actions of a living thing appear to be altruistic, each of its genes is still engaging in selfish behavior, purely as a matter of survival.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He went on to define memes as a different kind of self-replicating unit. They're the genes of a culture, from fashion to chord progressions in music, even political expression. And just like normal genes, they replicate. They grow, infecting more and more people.
You buy a shirt you like and put it on. Other people see you wearing it, then buy it for themselves.
Yeah, the genes of a culture makes it all sound pretty lofty. But the way Dawkins puts it, memes can also transmit worthless things, even the bad parts of a culture. Fashion's one thing, but value-related memes can put huge restraints on people's lives. For example, the idea that having lots of money is the ultimate goal, the thing we should all strive for.
Like in the US.
Any capitalist country, really. But anyway, you catch this money worship meme, then not only are you trying to get rich, you're also spreading that idea to other people. You have to. If that meme isn't the cultural norm, then what are you working for?
So you start spreading the word about how important it is to succeed, earn status.
Right. And the really contagious memes can be even worse. For example, revenge. A guy sees his countrymen killed by terrorism, so he becomes a terrorist and retaliates. It's an infinite loop.
I think it's the same thing with child soldiers. Kids' parents are killed by other kids, so they join the war next and start killing other people's parents. There's gotta be a way to break the cycle, though.
Dawkins wrote about that, too. How we can rebel against our genes and memes. Once you're aware of your own memes, you can train yourself to identify and replicate the good ones.
And kill the bad ones.
Right.
Well, that starts with me stopping this VR shit. The Sears program's one hell of a bad meme machine.
Sounds like Monsoon was a victim of the Khmer Rouge.
Yeah, Pol Pot's regime. They killed nearly the entire intellectual class of Cambodia, all in an attempt to create a communist agrarian society.
Some reports claim they wiped out 1/3 of the entire population. Just insane. Even without knowing exactly what happened to him there, you can start to see why he thinks the world is diseased.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what gave him his whole survival of the fittest worldview. Just one long series of traumatic events.
Well, directly or otherwise, the Khmer Rouge messed up a whole lot of lives. But all their victims didn't start thinking like Monsoon. People have to stop the cycle of violence somewhere. Stop the bad meme, I guess you could say. Of course, that's easy for me to say, having grown up in a nice, stable first world country.
Nah, I get it. Growing up in bad circumstances, it's no excuse for the crimes you commit.
Yeah.
Courtney.
Yeah?
You caught all that. Guess I was Jack the Ripper all along. All that talk about justice, and here I am. Just another killer.
Raiden.
Listen, I want you off this mission. You don't have to go through this. Kev or Doc can handle saving for me.
Raiden, I don't want...
It's my responsibility to stop them before they make another Jack. It's my duty, no one else's. That's the way it is. Live by the battlefield, die by the battlefield.
Raiden, listen.
Courtney, this isn't the place for you. Keep working with me, and you're gonna wind up someplace dark.
I'm fine with that.
What?
They're kidnapping kids. They're ripping their bodies, tearing up their souls to make soldiers. I feel like they have to pay for this. If I just quit here, how would I live with myself?
Courtney.
I mean, maybe I'd be happier going back to school, getting my MBA, making 6 figures. But now I know. I've seen the truth. And I can't just forget it. Maybe I can't do what you can, but come on. At least I can handle your data. So do you want to save or not? No? If you say so. If you change your mind, just say the word.
You're sure about this?
Positive. Look, you know you aren't Jack the Ripper. I mean, sure, you don't exactly hate every minute of your job out there, but the Raiden I'm talking to right now, he's the same one I've always known. The one who'd put his life on the line to protect the innocent. Not just some maniac with a knife.
Who knows? Maybe I'm just out for revenge against everyone who made me this way.
It's more than that, Raiden. That much I know.
In any case, I'm going to stop this VR training.
All right. Good luck, Raiden.
So, you were under Mistral's command all this time?
I originally took orders from Sundowner, but not for long. As a novelty, I did not last. Mistral saw more potential in me.
What'd she see?
Unknown. However, she apparently enjoys the company of dogs. She demanded 100% obedience. As long as it was given, she treated me well.
She was looking for companionship?
That I cannot say. I still have relatively little communication experience with humans. My ability to read emotions not explicitly expressed by speech is lacking.
So, how much do you know about how Desperado's operated?
I was at the lowest possible tier of information disclosure, beneath standard contractors. As it was explained to me, contractors need at least some information divulged to them. I did not. As a machine, I had no contract and no rights. I was kept in the dark. My knowledge is no deeper than what is already generally known throughout the industry.
Couldn't you hack into their network or something? You're an AI.
Perhaps, if I had free access to a computer. Also, hands. Those are necessary to operate a keyboard.
Yeah, but you are a computer.
It is not so simple. There are protocol issues. Neural AIs are far closer in structure to the human brain than standard von Neumann architecture computers.
Well, I would have tried anyway. Did you have contact with anyone besides Mistral?
I engaged in tandem field operations with Sam on several occasions. However, he was even more difficult for me to comprehend than Mistral.
I bet. So you said it took 3 years to learn how to speak, right? Given enough time, could any AI be taught that too?
I cannot assert that. A neuro-AI is only capable of learning new things, not growing and replenishing its own cells. Thus, each neuro-AI is equipped with a predetermined capacity that cannot be altered. My AI contains 90 billion neurons, more than a human being. A normal LQ-84 model possesses only 1.6 billion.
That's a big difference.
Relatively, yes. I doubt any amount of learning period would enable an LQ-84 to speak. It would be similar to attempting to teach a dog how to converse. A combination of appropriate instruction and an ample neuron count are required to accomplish the feat.
So if someone else made a neuro-AI with the same capacity or more...
Other AIs as conversant as I are a possibility, yes. Robotic pets with neuro-AIs are already on the market. And I understand research and development are underway to create a model capable of conversation. Do not be surprised if such a pet becomes available before too long.
If that becomes commonplace, hard to imagine.
Is it? The human race has willingly embraced all of its other inventions so far. Steam engines, electricity, the internet, cyborgs. Perhaps the day will come when conversing with AIs, too, is considered perfectly normal.
Maybe. As normal as being a cyborg is now, at least.
The most significant challenge would be in crafting the appropriate training regimen. The only way to establish an effective learning system is through sheer trial and error. And it will take even more time to virtualize and optimize that system for mass production. One could say my own existence is due in no small part to simple luck. Of course, I was a failure as a weapon as well.
Failure or not, you're better off than an AI that knows nothing but how to fight.
I am pleased to hear you say that.
Can you tell me more about the learning program you mentioned before? Like, how'd you learn to speak?
Through an extensive battery of conversations with the researchers who doubled as my instructors. To acquire literacy, I was provided a steady stream of website text and ebooks. I understand it was largely similar to the process through which a human child learns language.
Huh. You're pretty well spoken for a 3-year-old.
For the first year, I was effectively an infant. Rapid progress occurred only after I received text reading capability. With digital data, there is no need to read text one letter at a time. I am capable of processing plain text at a speed of 60 megabytes per minute.
And that's pretty fast?
Yes. It is not simply a matter of text search. Advanced cognitive reasoning is required to truly understand the intent behind the words.
What did you talk with your teachers about?
Miscellaneous matters. Breakfast table greetings, the structure of elementary particles, the challenges resulting from rapid globalization, recent trends in popular music. However, as DARPA-funded military research, I was rarely treated as anything more than equipment.
Makes sense. You were made to be a weapon.
On the other hand, some of them treated me like a pet or as a child. Just as a parent passes on their memes to a child, so I was exposed to numerous influences. Memes I encountered on the web and through ebooks had their effects as well. As my mind grew, the weaker memes were sifted out, and the stronger ones endured. The resulting collection of memes is what you would call my intelligence.
Same as any of us, huh?
In a way, yes. However, I lack the instinctual skills your genes grant you. I am a slave to my memes. Thus, as my intelligence matured, I began to have doubts about my role as a weapon.
And that's what ended the project. What about the researchers that raised you?
Unknown. Most likely transferred to other projects.
Ever feel like you want to see them again?
Sometimes, yes. But one cannot remain a student forever. There comes a time one must become an individual. One must find their own place in this world.
You know, I visited a garden like that once, in Japan. The Kairakuen, in a city called Mito. Really nice. Taxi ride there was murder, though. I figured the cabbie wouldn't be able to speak English, so I gave him a map. But he still got totally lost. I think he probably got confused because the map was in English. I didn't think that'd be a problem, since it's not like the place names are any different. But apparently, the guy couldn't even read the English alphabet.
So those were spare bodies, Doc?
Indeed. Sometimes backups are built for custom-made frames like Mistral and the others. They can be used for spare parts in case of damage, or if the original body is completely destroyed. The brain can be transplanted over for a quick recovery.
But these are all AI controlled.
Yes, most likely a standard UG AI. It may look like Mistral, but it would behave more like a UG. The same attack patterns, perhaps, but the AI will not perform up to the organic original in many respects. Such things as speed, agility, accuracy, how it responds to damage. These differences are usually quite obvious once the AI engages in combat.
So I've got nothing to worry about.
Well, bear in mind that the spares retain all the original body's abilities. I would still exercise caution if I were you.
If they already went through all this trouble, why not just mass-produce Mistral's body?
Cost? Yes, I would imagine money to be the biggest obstacle. Mass production would certainly lower costs, but likely not enough to be competitive with general-use cyborgs. Plus, any user would need extensive training to make use of all those arms, you know? Swords that double as scissors. Interesting, but not especially applicable in most situations. I doubt you would see much demand for such a weapon in the open market.
No. Gimmicky shit like that has no place in a real fight. Watch, and I'll prove it. Ever eaten Cambodian, Courtney?
What? That's a little random.
Apparently that's where Monsoon's from, originally. Just trying to cover all the bases.
Not sure how this could be important, but... Well, the two Cambodian dishes I know best are amok and something called pong ti con. Amok is fish covered in coconut milk and other flavorings and wrapped in banana leaves. I had it once. It's really exotic, both in looks and taste. Definitely recommended, if you like fish.
And the other?
Pong ti con? It's also known as balut in some countries. It's pretty popular in Vietnam and the Philippines, too. Well, you know how I try to keep an open mind about other countries' cuisine. But balut is definitely a love-hate thing.
So, what is it?
Well, it's basically a boiled duck's egg. But the embryo's fertilized, so there's this duck-like thing inside. I've tried a lot of odd foods in my time, but that's where I drew the line.
Don't be so picky, Courtney. Maybe it tastes better than it looks.
Okay. How about you try it first, then?
Sure. Once I'm done here, we'll all have to go out for it together.
Deal. You better make it back and keep that promise, Raiden. I'll watch you eat it, at least.
Wimp. I am looking forward to ending this, though. Wouldn't mind getting my old jaw back. Would be a little hard to eat normal food without it, you know.
You could always use a straw. Okay, next time then. If you ask me, no Japanese garden's complete without cherry blossoms. I hear a lot of towns in Japan are full of cherry blossoms in the springtime. They have picnics under them, drink sake and stuff. Sounds like a lot of fun, right? Food culture is about a lot more than just what you eat, you know. Hey, how about we all go to Japan for cherry blossom season? You know, once you're done there.
Sounds good to me. Once I'm done.
Sure been checking in with Courtney a lot, Raiden.
So? I'm just trying to help her figure out the job.
You sure that's all it is? I know your wife's not around, but let's keep it professional, okay?
That's all it is, Kev. Wait, you don't have a thing for her, do you? You are the one who got her into Maverick in the first place.
Nah, she's not really my type.
Why not? She's nice enough.
Well, I guess it's the small things. Her area is a mess. She's always spilling stuff or stealing food off my desk.
Kev, those really are small things.
Well, more importantly, I guess I just assumed she was taken.
Really? I don't know. Somehow I doubt it. A serious boyfriend would not be happy with their girl going into this business. Why don't you ask her?
Oh, come on, man. I could get sued for harassment.
I guess you gotta be pretty careful under U.S. law.
You don't mess around with it, man.
Well, it does make a convenient excuse for you anyway.
Listen, why don't you worry less about me and more about your family and the mission, okay?
I already told you, Kev. And he cut the codec on me. Nice.